All right, so for this mini thing, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a switch that makes a glider go up and down depending on the surroundings. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my assets. I'm gonna go to scripts and not scripts. Sorry, I'm gonna go to sprites, and I'm gonna bring in the necessary things I need. So let's see, sugar sleeping 1 and sugar sleeping 2. I'm gonna drop these in here. All right, beauteous, and I will make them big. Okay, so oh, there should be a third one too. Let's see where you are. This one. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna grab my camera and I'm just gonna change the color of this to kind of a darkish gray. All right, and so these are the elements I got to use, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I am first gonna bring in my stuff. So I'm gonna drop this in there, okay, and I'll make sure that the ordering level is 0. I'm gonna drop this in there, and I'll drop this in there. Okay, now actually, before I do any of that, let's get rid of these. Hang on a second. Not that. What you'll notice is that they're a really big image. I just want to crop these so they're just the size that they're supposed to be. So I'm going to go to the sprite editor, and I am going to grab this, pull it tight. I'm going to grab this. I'm just grabbing each one of these bounding boxes just to make this smaller because I don't want it to be so giganticus. And then I will apply. Beauteous. And good. Let's see if that, yeah, all right. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to go to sprite editor, and we will grab this and this and this and this, and I'm just take the pivot. I'm going to put it right here, and I will, oops, crap. Do it again here. Accidentally hit revert and not apply. Okay, so on and so forth. Crop and apply. Good. And lastly, we'll do this one. Sprite editor. And we're going to pull this in here. This one in here. And the rest of it's fine. And I'll just hit apply and exit out of it. Okay. So I'm going to drop this in there. And I'm going to open this one up and drop this in there. And I'm going to open this one up and drop this one in there. Okay. Huzzah. Let's go to scene so I can see everything. All right. So now all I need to do is this should actually be called like we'll call this pouch. Let's capitalize that. Pouch back. And I'm going to make sure it's at 0. Okay, which is good. And then I'm not sure which one this one is. That's the guy, so we're going to leave that there. We're going to call this one pouch front. Pouch front. And we're going to put this at 3, or I'm sorry, 2. And then we're just going to put sugar glider on this one. Sugar glider. And this one's going to be at 1. Okay, so that way it'll be the back at 0, then the sugar glider at 1, and then this at whatchamacallit here, at 2. Okay, good. All right, so I'm just going to generally place these things. They should be good. Let's see, what does that look like as far as the game? That works for me. So now what I need to do is I need to make a switch that's going to make this move up and down, which is relatively simple. So I'm just going to go to game object, and we're going to go UI. And first action I'm going to do is make a button to, I'm going to go to game here. That's going to go on the side here that just says next. So that way we're set up for that. So I'm going to click on this, Alt and Shift, and I'm going to do bottom right. And I think I made it 100 by 100 last time. And then I think it was 50, nope, minus 50. Minus 50 by 50. Good. And then the text should be just next. Obviously I could do a nicer job on this, but oops, I like that. And that works for me. Beautiful. All right. Now I'm going to grab the canvas again and game object UI. And this time I'm going to do a toggle. we're going to click on this, and I'm going to do it to the left. Alt and Shift, click on here, so it goes to the left. And I'm going to change I want to change the size of it overall. So let's see, scale. Okay, good. So we'll just do it 2 by 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Good. And then position, I'm going to bring it in over here a little bit, like so. And the label, I'm going to write light. All right, so this is going to represent turning the light on and off. And that is good. Good. Now, so I got this toggle on there, and you know, if I hit play, you can see like you can turn this on and off. Okay, beauteous. All right, let's go ahead and save this. All right, so it's just saved as level 2. Good. Now, one of the things I want to do is I want to make it so that when the light is off, this guy goes down, and when it's on, or I'm sorry, when the light's off, it's up, and when it's on, he's down in the pouch, right? Because I just want to represent that they're, oh yeah, I got to write that in there too. So game object, UI, text, and we're going to go like this, top center. And I'm going to go ahead and make it white. I'm going to select this, go white. And we're going to go from the top 50, whoops, sorry, minus 50. And we're just going to say that sugar gliders, oops, I don't want to capitalize the second one. Sugar gliders are nocturnal. And then we just need to change the width here. Good. And voila. So that's good. All right, so let's just save that again. And I want to make it so this goes up when this is down and down when it's up. So that is basically what we're going to be shooting for. Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. Hang on a second. Okay. So basically I want to make it so when the light gets switched, the toggle will make that function. So in order for that to happen, I'm going to need a game object that is going to work on this. Okay, so I'm going to make a new object, create empty, and we're just going to call this one game controller. Game controller. And I'm going to make a new script for this, and this is just going to be called sugar wake script. So create JavaScript sugar wake script, and I'll just double click on it. It should pop up here. All right, we don't need these previous ones. We're gonna get rid of these guys. We'll leave menu script because we use that for the next part there. All right, so I'm on sugar wake script, and we're gonna need a couple of things. Okay. So I'm going to need a variable that controls the speed of how fast it moves. So it's going to be sugar speed, and that will be an float. And I'm going to set that equal to 10 currently, so it'll move at a speed of 10. We're also going to need a variable that's actually going to hold the sugar glider itself. So the object that's going to move, obviously. So in this case, it's going to be that picture of the sugar glider. And that's obviously a game object. Okay, and we're going to need a variable that's going to hold the top position, that when it's the top, this is the transform of this is up here. So like this, if I select this, you'll see, sorry, I got to select the sugar glider, W. You can see its transforms on its Y. So this is the top position, right? And then we need a variable that's going to hold the bottom position, which is this, okay? So the Y position here. All right, so I am going to do a variable for top position. All right, and that's just going to be a float. And I don't know what it is yet, so we'll figure that out later. And then bottom position. And again, that's going to be a float. All right, and then we're going to need a variable that's going to hold whether the light switch is on or off. So light switch. And it's going to be a Boolean. Yeah, Boolean. So a Boolean is on or off, and we're going to set it to true. So it's going to be on, because initially the light switch is on. So in here, I'm going to make a function that basically is just going to turn the light switch on or off. It's just going to change this from being on or off. That's all it's going to do. It's pretty simple. So function, oops, I got to start with a capital. Light switch. Now be aware that this is lowercase and this is a variable, this is uppercase, and this will be a function, even though they have the same name. They're not in any way related. All right, so I'm going to say if the light switch, okay, so I'm saying if white, basically saying if light switch. So it says if this is true, in this case it's a Boolean, so if light switch, and it currently is true, then we're going to say light switch is, we're going to assign the value of false. Else, no, we don't have to do that. We're going to set the light switch to true. Control C. All right, okay, Control V, and this will be true. All right. So basically what this is saying is that whenever we call this function, it's going to say, okay, call this function. So I'll have, like, basically what I'm going to have happen is this. When I hit this button, that toggle, let's go over here. When I hit this toggle, it's going to run that script. It's going to run this light switch. Come on. It's going to run this light switch script. It's going to run it, and it's going to say if it's on, which by default it is, it's going to turn it off. And then if I click it again, it's going to say, okay, is it on? And it's not going to be on. So then it's just going to turn it on. It's going to turn it on since it's off. Okay, so basically all it's going to do is just going to toggle this variable to be true or false, which does nothing on its own, but I'm going to use that as a condition of whether it is going to make something happen or not make something happen. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use I don't need this function start. I need the function update. And basically in here, I'm just going to do a couple of things. I'm going to do if the not light switch, so basically if the light switch is off, I am going to do such and such. If the light switch is off, we'll do it like this. I'm going to transform dot translate, I can't spell very well, translate vector 2, so in a vector 2, 0, hang on one second, okay, a vector 2, which is x and y, so I'm going to translate 0 on x because I don't want it to move left and right, I just want it to go up and down, 0, and then it's going to translate at sugar speed times time dot delta time. Basically it's just saying that over time it's going to move this speed, okay, semicolon, and that's what it's going to do. Else it's going to do this. Okay, it's going to transform dot translate, right? So these are transforms, right? So there's transform, position, rotate, and scale. We want to translate, which is position. All right, translate, and obviously it's going to be a vector 2. And again, I don't want to move it in x, but I'm going to have it do minus sugar speed, which means it's going to move into a negative direction, which will be down. Okay, so this one's going to move it up. This one's going to move it down at the speed that we decided up here. Time dot delta time. All right, now let's click in here. I'll be surprised if there's not an error, and there's not. So now what I need to do is actually hook that up to some things here. So the way that we wrote this, just to be aware, is that we said transform.translate. So that means that it's going to transform what this is attached to, not anything else. So I'm actually gonna attach this script onto the actual sugar glider itself here. Good and good. So and then what I need to do is basically go to my game controller script, and I'm sorry, I need to go to my toggle here. We'll do it on the next thing, but basically I'm going to hook this up to turn that on and off.